Okay, so setup-wise, as we said, we want to just try and move that ball back just a smidgen. So that there we would regard as being a little bit back of where kind of normal want to be, okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that, okay, as we said, because you're not going to be shifting so much weight onto this left foot just because it doesn't feel as comfortable for you to do that, okay? So in terms of the setup, try to build that setup in its entirety rather than sort of go to normal and go, oh, I'll move it back a bit, because then you start moving and shuffling, okay? So get yourself ball back, and that will obviously in turn change your shoulders slightly in a more closed position, okay? In terms of your practice movements on the side of the ball, make a backswing and just feel the arms kind of just sort of falling down here without your body unwinding at all. If your body unwinds too much, so your right shoulder kind of comes forward and down, the club will hit the ground a bit early. By keeping it back here, just let the arms just drop this way, and that's kind of the feeling you need to have. So you do 2 or 3 of these, and do it swing through the golf ball, then step to the golf ball, go through your sequence of putting the club down behind the ball, then setting your feet with that ball back a little bit, because what we said, if you swing a golf club now, your club is going to arc on a slight curve this way, okay? If you're not going to shift to target, okay, your arc or your curve, shall we say, is going to be slightly to the left this way. So by hitting it now back here rather than up there means you're hitting it still towards target. Your path is still going to be good towards target. I'll show this on the left hand side a bit more detail, okay? So top of the backswing, if we look at the 2 movements from the side there, so good turn of shoulders here now, from face on here now we can watch, see, or if I make it a bit bright actually, you can see, look at your right hip now as it goes back. Lovely. Nice little rotation there around your spine, staying very centred there. Good movement there. Now, as we come back to the golf ball, if you just watch your left leg, it starts moving, and then from here now, it's going to sort of lock and go backwards, yeah? So your knee's kind of going from here, and then it starts coming back. So your left, this hip now, I'm not saying it's wrong to use normal swings, but swings that are going to shift onto their left side, this would start going this way, yours start moving that way, which is fine. It means you're taking the pressure off the knee that doesn't want to have all that pressure on it. So you can make that move.
Am I losing power because of that?
Not really, no. In actual fact, by pushing off that left foot, hitting up on the ball a bit more, in some ways you could be gaining power. I mean, look at the big long driving guys. Okay, the Joe Millers of the world, all these guys, they're hitting the gun, they're almost jumping off the ground. Bubba Watson's front foot jumps off the ground. So pressure off the ground and swinging up on the ball. As long as your club is swinging up and to target, you're not going to lose power. There are other 2 ways. What you might lose a bit of distance in the fact the launch might be a bit high. Look at your last launch there, you're at 18 degrees. That was a bit high on the club face. 14, 13 at your club head is a little bit the higher echelon with your club head speed. If you were a lower speed hitter, then we wouldn't say that that's too high because you want your ball up in the air. Somebody who's swinging the club maybe 50, 60 miles an hour.
I don't worry about distance, because as long as I get it 220,
220, 230 in play is fine. Because from your point of view, if you're in the fairway, you're going to the green with, I'd rather a 5 iron from the fairway anyway than a 7 iron from the rough. Because chances are in the rough you're chipping out sideways anyway, because the rough are in the trees or a bunk or whatever it may be. And often if you land in the fairway, it's going to run a bit, and the rough's going to stop. So, hitting the ball straighter is always going to be a further shot anyway, because it's going to have the sort of knock-on effect of bouncing on the fairway. So the movement coming from the top there now, you can see here, the shoulders now are square and the club's still back up, obviously up here, comes in a little bit across, which is still fine, but your path wasn't too bad in the ball there. You see the ball now starting off pretty much just on the left-hand side there, and a goodish movement through the target, sort of finishing up on your left side there nicely. Overall, functionally in terms of the swing, if we go back to start there now, that's good. Everything's good there in terms of so there. So that's good. Good posture, good angles, good sort of knee flip. Everything's good in that position there. Ball's good. Okay. Takeaway is good. Nice push away with the arms, the torso there. Good rotation with the chest. Hips working well. That's all working back nicely. It's now this transition down. By having the ball back a little bit, we're allowed to take the weight off that left knee, but it's making sure the top up doesn't get a little bit too kind of aggressive with that, and then starts pulling it left. Okay, so with the shorter irons, I think when you're not trying to put so much power into it, are you? Because you know the wedge and the 9, the 8 and the 7 are kind of more for control, aren't they? That's kind of the way it's worked. So by doing that, you're not going to use your right shoulder quite so much. In your head, that move from the top of the backswing here, there is more of like a power move with that right shoulder. When you've got shorter clubs, as you said, and clubs not really designed for power, this is going to stay back. So it's not such of an issue.
See where it's like, it's all hunky-dory there?
At the top of the backswing?
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's all right there.
That's fine, lovely.
But then for me to bring that hand down there.
Yeah.
When it's on that line already.
From there, your hands will just drop down. I'll show you a video in a second of another guy. What you do, your hands work out towards
my
the
hands.
golf ball.
It's all coming down together, isn't it?
Yeah.
My hands and my shoulders are all still.
Exactly. If that shoulder was to stay back,
and
what
drop my hands.
Yeah, what you would see is if you swing back to here, because your shoulders are on this tilt.
Yeah.
If you turn your shoulders first, you're going that way. If
know.
this shoulder stays back,
I've got to separate my hands.
just exactly. It's only a little bit, okay? It's not an easy move to make, okay, for a lot of people. And in some ways, from your point of view, I don't want it to be too much of the way, because if you started dropping your hands down here and you start starting the ball left to target, you'd be doing this.
Yeah.
You'd be in a massive hook way to the left, because your club's going to be coming more from the inside and releasing too much. So it's
probably
finding
6 inches, isn't it?
but less than that, you think.
Yeah.
It's probably, it's not a big amount. I mean, it feels to like 6 foot.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue in some ways, is how much it feels to how much it actually is. Any changes in golf about this amount of much a change we're looking to make, and it feels massive to the individual. Okay, so I had a guy yesterday trying to get the ball flight down. He had his 7-iron, was like 25, 26, 27, and it took him such a long time to get to beneath 25. We got to 24.8. And he felt like he was going to hit the ball with his launch angle. So you're like 80 on the drop, we're talking about 7s and 8-iron and 9-irons. He's got quite a high launch angle. His was 25, 26, 27 with his kind of norm, had a couple in the low 30s. We want to try and get below 25 for him for his club speed. We got to 24.7. He felt like he did the ball about 10 foot off the ground. But it just feels such a massive change, but it's probably about inches and millimetres, okay? So, but that first move to the top is going to be key. I'd practice that from the side, say, with these. So you can do all your thinking here, let your arms kind of fall down there, okay? And then when you set the golf ball, go through your routine at setup, club down, ball there, step back, swing at it. Don't think over the ball. You're getting better, actually, I think you've got to say.
Now I know it's only a couple of inches rather than 6 inches.
You're not trying to move it behind you so much.
I
think sometimes knowing that you're near the finish line, aren't you?
To drop it that far, without turning my shoulders,
it'd be tough.
Feels impossible.
But it's a small little move there. But that makes sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, right, okay.